Before she was elected to the United States Senate, Elizabeth Warren created the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau during the Obama administration. It was the first government agency in the country dedicated to the active protection of consumers, the active protection of all of us, protection against businesses trying to harm us financially or in other ways. Elon Musk is opposed to you being protected against any companies anywhere that are determined to exploit you in any way they can. As the top Democrat on the Senate Banking Committee today, Senator Warren convened what Democrats are calling a shadow hearing about what Elon Musk is trying to do to kill the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Only the majority party in the Senate or the House can schedule an official hearing. So what the Democrats, led by Senator Warren, did today in many ways looks like a Senate hearing. They had it in a hearing room, but it is not an official Senate hearing, which really only means that the testimony delivered at the hearing will not become part of the congressional record. But because it was a legitimate attempt to get at the real truth of what Elon Musk is doing, it was more important than any official hearing Republicans have held in the Senate this year.
Our focus today will be on what could be one of the biggest cons in American history, the theft of billions of dollars from American consumers. Elon Musk and Donald Trump are going all out to try to kill the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau and make it easier to cheat people out of their hard-earned money.
It's about getting away with theft. That's what it's about. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau exists to protect you from being cheated. And Elon Musk wants to make sure that you can be cheated in every possible way.
Elon Musk wants to offer a new X Money feature on his social media platform. But some other apps are already out there, and Musk would have to compete against them. By seizing control of the agency, Musk can now root through all of the CFPB's confidential data that DOJ has accessed on these potential competitors. As Musk launches his new app, he faces oversight from the CFPB. His plan seems to be to eliminate the watchdog, which would leave him free to scam and steal however he wants. And that is why I invited Elon Musk to the hearing today. Congress and the public deserve answers about why he's trying to kill the CFPB and answers about what he would gain personally if he's able to shut the agency down.
Elon Musk, needless to say, did not show up to explain himself to Senator Warren today.
No surprise, Mr. Musk is a no-show. He is too afraid to show up in person and defend his actions. He hides behind a gusher of silly tweets. But Elon, in case you're watching from your bunker or your Oval Office, it isn't too late. We're going to be here for another hour and a half. We have saved a seat for you, and we all have plenty of questions.
Senator Angela Brooks of Maryland said this.
It looks like the billionaires have literally run amok. They are getting what they paid for. They are raiding our government. And what is so sinister about what they're doing is while they run amok and they are really hoping to profit from our government, then they want to leave people like Ms. McCall, who is my constituent, in a lurch. And so I know that Senator Kaine just spoke about veterans. I understand that while you were serving our country in Iraq, you came home only to find that a car you purchased you couldn't get. So just can you tell us how long it took for you to try to resolve the issue with your car?
Yes, Senator. I had retired from the Army in February 2023. and my family was moving here to Maryland. This is where we decided to purchase a home and live out our rest of our lives, ideally. And it took, from the moment I went to go ship the car in January 2024, it took a year before I had the titling for that vehicle. And the state of Maryland told me in October of 2024 that I'm legally not going to be allowed to drive it until I get that. So we were kind of panicked for about 3 months before we knew of the CFPB, and was relieved when an email online, and 8 days later they call telling me that they will do the thing that they were legally contracted to do in the first place.
So only 8 days after CFPB got involved.
Yes, Senator.
After almost a year of trying to get this resolved.
Senator Amy Klobuchar of Minnesota said this.
Just from my view, when I look at these Minnesota numbers, 15,340 complaints that have yielded relief. That's incredible. You've got 2,000 complaints from older Americans, over 3,000 from veterans. Thank you, Ms. Gillen. And dismantling this CFPB is the opposite of lowering costs, the opposite. And I hope the Trump administration understands this. Republicans claim that they're going to reduce financial burdens, yet their actions will drive up costs for consumers.
Lorelei Salas, who was forced out of her job at the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau 2 weeks ago, explained that much of the work that the agency does is invisible to the people they protect.
As the head of the Supervision Division with a staff of 550 people, we were in the business of preventing fraud and law-breaking by big banks and other financial institutions every day. Most people are unfamiliar with the work of supervision because it happens behind the scenes and is confidential. You likely will never know that we instructed your lender to give you a refund because neither the company nor the CFPB will say it publicly. But in the most recent 2 years, the supervision team advised banks and mortgage companies to refund more than $350 million that were charged in illegal junk fees to their accounts.
Lorelei Salas described a typical consumer protection case, the kind of protection Elon Musk wants to make sure that you never have again.
A woman was placed in foreclosure proceedings because she failed to notarize a form, and she didn't know why her application was denied. She had applied to a program where she could reduce her monthly payments. Was never told of the requirement and was never told she could fix it. Our staff were looking at those files and questioned the company and said, give us a reason why you denied this application, and they didn't have one.
Right.
So they had to go and fix the problem, and the woman was able to keep her home. And that is work that is happening on an ongoing basis. Well, was happening as of 2 weeks ago.
Massachusetts Attorney General Andrea Campbell explained how important the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is to the work of state attorneys general.
While most view the Attorney General as one who only advances public safety, and of course we certainly do that, we do so much more. My number one priority is to address the issue of affordability. And every day we work to help residents build wealth, hold companies and individuals accountable for scamming them, and work to put money back into the pockets of our constituents. We do this while working with a wide range of stakeholders, but most importantly, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Since its inception, the CFPB has returned over $20 billion to consumers. It was created to protect the homeowner struggling to pay their mortgage, the first-generation college kid who was unknowingly duped by a predatory for-profit college, the hard-working American forced to incur more and more debt, whose last pennies are being threatened by debt collectors using unscrupulous practices, and so many more.
Leading off our discussion tonight is Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts. She is the top Democrat on the Senate Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs Committee. Senator, thank you very much for joining us tonight, and thank you for holding an informative session there where we're actually learning something about how government was working up until 2 weeks ago.
Right. And, put it in a little context here. Think about Donald Trump. When he ran for president, he spent a year telling everybody in America he was going to lower costs for families. Remember how he said repeatedly, his words, he would lower costs on day one. That's what he kept saying. And here we are, we're in the second month of the Trump term. And not only has he done nothing to lower costs, instead, what he's doing is he's shut down, he's sidelined this consumer agency that actually helps people and has returned money to people when they've been cheated. So he's driving up costs for consumers, for families, instead of pushing them down, exactly the reverse of what he promised.
So this is an agency which, by design, returns a profit directly to the American people, directly to the consumers it protects.
Yep. Yeah, in fact, think about it this way. What this agency found is they found over the last dozen years $21 billion of places where banks and credit card companies and payday lenders and online money transfer outfits and your bank, your checking account, had cheated people, had tricked them, had trapped them, but clearly had broken the law. They found it. They got in touch with them. They went after them. They prosecuted them. And most of all, made them return the money directly to people they cheated. Now, just so you understand, when you sideline that agency, all of that activity stops. And that's basically what we talked about today. The thousands and thousands and thousands of people who turn to the consumer agency every day, more than 7 million people have gone to the consumer agency's hotline to get help in individual matters. All of that process, we just did a report on this, it slows way down because there's nobody at the agency to be able to handle it. The agency had about 40 lawsuits that it was in the middle of, that it was going forward after some of the worst actors fighting it out in courts. All of that has stopped. 2 weeks ago, I had Jerome Powell, the head of the Fed, in front of me in a banking hearing and asked him, so who's enforcing the consumer protection laws across the country right now? His answer, no one.
So Elon Musk in the Oval Office with Donald Trump, where he's kind of towering over him and, Donald Trump's looking up at him. You can interpret it for yourself, maybe afraid, maybe not. They kept insisting that if there's a conflict of interest in anything Elon Musk is doing, he will, of course, not engage in whatever that was. He'll step out of the way. And the judge of that conflict of interest will, of course, be Elon Musk, according to the Trump-Musk system for checking conflict of interest. Might there be a conflict of interest for Elon Musk being engaged in closing down consumer protection?
So think of it this way. Remember, Elon Musk bought Twitter, turned it into X, hemorrhaged buckets of money, and then announced that his new scheme to make money would be X money. So he wants to create an online money transfer platform. Who would be the oversight to make sure that he actually follows the law? It would be the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. If you can sideline him, then Elon Musk gets to go forward and cheat you in as many ways as he wants, knowing the cops are not on the beat. But wait, that's not enough for our conflicts of interest here. He's got a second one. Right now, he's got his little minions running through the agency's data, and that means who knows what he's doing with it. Picking out potential customers, seeing what people like. He gets to rummage through all of the personal financial data that this agency has. But best of all, he at least has the opportunity to rummage through his competitors' data, because the CFPB regulates all the other companies that are doing what X money was about to do or what it is going to do. He can look in there and I don't know what he's looking for. Look to see what was profitable, what's not profitable, where were you violating the law, where did you build up more customer base, where did you not? It is an extraordinary conflict of interest and also flatly illegal. But Elon seems to think he's a law unto himself.
Senator, I learned a lot in today's hearing, especially this point that had not really been clear to me before, that so much of the work of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is invisible to us.
Yes.
There are corrections that can show up on our bank statements or credit card statements or different things that maybe just the company did that. It turns out the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau did it and isn't getting credit for it by the people who are being protected. Why can't that be made more clear to the people who benefit by that protection?
Well, partly we do try to make it clear by coming here and talking with you and all the people who listen, and I'm grateful for that. But do understand, this is frankly a part of how a government infrastructure should work. You know, I don't ask for the engineering reports on the bridge. What I know is that I have a government I can trust and an Army Corps of Engineers that make sure it's a safe bridge to be able to travel over. The same kind of thing should be true with our financial infrastructure. You should be able to take out a mortgage or use a credit card or an online payments transfer and not have to worry that somebody is cheating you and cheating you in ways you may never see because they tricked you on fees they charged you that they legally couldn't do, the ways they calculated interest. There are 1,000 ways to cheat people. We know, we've watched them do it. And the whole idea here is not for people to be able to have to read these credit card agreements that used to be 30 pages long. It's to make the market work smoothly so people can try to build some financial security and know that the basic underpinnings, that you're treated just fairly, level playing field with your credit cards, your checking accounts, your mortgage, your car loans. That's what the CFPB is all about. It's kind of like your infrastructure in your financial system. And damn it, Elon Musk thinks he can just come in and knock all that out because it will be one more way for the richest man on earth to get just a little bit richer at the expense of American families. And this is a time just to say no. No to Elon Musk, no to Donald Trump, and no to these damn billionaires who think they ought to be able to run the earth and make everybody else eat dirt. Enough of that.